Time to sum up.
Overall, sir, you've got a good organisation for the platoon, and you've got some good expertise within that platoon. Some of the better aspects that I saw this evening was particularly the section leaders and the platoon commander during the demonstration. I think the demonstration was handled rather well, and we went up through the regular rules of engagement for it. The flow of information from the ship to the platoon I thought was poor, if not bad, in certain cases. We did go through a lull, particularly when the sniper opened fire. It took a long time for them to actually pick up the sniper and start engaging, and I think partly the reason for that was that they were not really aware of the threat out there, so they were not aware that they'd actually been sniped at. And I think if they'd have been briefed properly throughout the exercise, they would have been more keyed up for it. Overall, though, the platoon is assessed as satisfactory. I think if we get the platoon together more often, they will certainly come up to a good standard, because they've certainly got the expertise and the leadership there.
Thanks, Mark.
Diving. Assess no problems. Overall, assess very satisfying, sir.
Good, that's a great.
If I can just summarise then, many good points tonight. Obviously well prepared, good command and control. In summary, a number of exercise artificialities tonight all happened in a compressed time scale. Now, in reality, this would often go on for days, even weeks, and tonight it all happened within the space of a few hours. Nonetheless, I hope you found it a useful exercise and a worthwhile day. Remember, it's not just a set piece at Portland. It could happen anytime, any place.
All things considered, an encouraging result for the ship. But already the next problem is brewing on the top of Portland Bill. In the real world, it's a sadly familiar one. This time, the scenario is a call for help from a friendly country, and disaster relief is a familiar task for many of the Navy's ships.
It's an unusual exercise. It's probably the most testing exercise that ships undergo here at Portland. As I said, everyone is involved, and it is unusual. Most people spend all their time cooped up inside the ship, and this is the one time we let them loose on a lovely day for a disaster. But you know, the unexpected happens, and we try and train ships to deal with the unexpected.
For Newcastle, the unexpected begins in a less spectacular way, with the arrival of a local headman played by a Portland dockyard worker. He's hurt, he speaks no English, and his village has been wrecked by an earthquake. Rob Davis and his team have two prime objectives. They need to find out the extent of the disaster and to work out how best they can help. But without a common language, it isn't easy.
Only English.
They have to fall back on a sketch map from a helicopter reconnaissance, a set of picture cards, and a lot of sign language. It's hard to take seriously, but the underlying purpose is all too important.
Tables there. It's gone, it's all full now. Are we happy? I think we've got a reasonable picture now.
10 days, 15 injury, a well but no running water, no food for 2 days, pregnant women, yes, no electrical machinery, looters, civil disturbance as possible, 2 lorries.
My team are carrying obviously a lot of water, a lot of first aid equipment, immediate first aid for stemming blood flow. They're carrying food to keep the people quiet if they're hungry, but apart from that we'll be rendering initial first aid and then moving on. The most important task is to get information back rather than to take care of people initially. As we go through, if we find that it's vastly different to what we're expecting, we will then be radioing that back to HQ, where HQ then has the vast bulk of the manpower ready to send forward heavy rescue teams, heavy lifting teams and firefighting teams en masse to deal with any different situations we may find.
One or 2 a year will find themselves in this situation, and it's something that obviously just comes out of the blue. You receive a signal saying that an island or a part of the country has had a problem, and you need to go and render assistance.
Stand by the box, 2-6, heavy!
But to get that assistance to where it's needed, the rescue teams have to haul themselves and their equipment up a steep slope and avoid a landslide. Exhausting work in high summer. The first patrol to reach the village faces a daunting prospect. There are casualties everywhere, and they're not all in the open. Some are trapped inside buildings or under rubble. The rescue teams have to find them, check their injuries, and give them first aid as quickly as possible. Many survivors are still in deep shock. They need urgent medical attention, but the rescuers can't afford to lose sight of their other priorities.
Right, now look, think about it. Right, they're trying to show you something, right? Yeah. They're hindering you at the same time. Okay, listen, it's no good letting an injured person with his arm half hanging off wandering around it. This is what they're trying to show you. They'll help you as much as you help them, okay?
There's a constant danger of fire and explosions from broken gas mains and leaking oil tanks. Until they can damp down the fires, all but the most vital first aid may well have to wait. At this stage, all is not quite going to plan.
You sort your problem out. Right, Tim. Do another hose run. What do you think is the problem? I think we've got one hose supplying 3 hoses here. You have? 2 more. But do you need 2 water walls? Not necessarily. One is no good, is it? Because that one's pretty pathetic, right? Yeah. So use the white piece, one for your FB5X, one for your water wall. Yeah. We're looking at different size houses. Do you think that's a problem? Yes, sir. I do. Right, come on now, get going. Leave that right. Shut off.
Now the hoses are in position and the portable pumps are building up water pressure. So far, the firefighting teams have found progress disappointingly slow. Now they can finally get to grips with damping down the fires. But the local press, another FOST man, has spotted the delay and is adding to the pressure with some awkward questions.
Safe casualties, okay, and I haven't got time to talk to you. That's right. Temporary eyes platoon if need be, and move in with force if need be. Right. No further questions. Get rid of him. Sir. Move him. Get your hands off him. Can you just move over him, please? Yeah, come on, all right. Get him out of the way. Don't put himself in line. I accept that. We do the same as a normal fire brigade, alright? Life first, buildings, property, material comes second. Well, I've heard a bit of somebody crying in that building. Well, you can see what it's like. All we have, until we get the well going, flashed up, pressure on. Quite quicker then, come on. Right. People are dying. It is going at full speed, I can assure you. At the same time, we must maintain safety to ourselves. Alright? Because if we get wiped out through being overzealous, dangerous, then you've got nobody. Just like to point out, it is
Always in the background, the noise of the ship's helicopter bringing up the heavy equipment needed so urgently by the teams on the ground. But there's always the danger that the downdraft will fan the flames raging all round.
Find me a long pole. A bit of brute force, will it? Big pole. Right, one big pole. Get a couple of them. 5 minutes, Des, right? We're going to get some poles. Scaffold tubes, have you? Yeah. We've got them all now. Right, what we're going to do, mate, we're going to get a scaffold tube. We're all going to try and lift this weight off your leg. Once we get the weight off your leg, yeah, somebody will move it clear. Hang on. What's something long enough? We'll give that a go. But while we're giving it a go, tell HQ that it looks like you're going to need an hydraulic jack. Tell them what it is. Rigging the jack leg in about 5 minutes. Right. Let's give it a go and try and lifting it. Have we got any more of these things? Bigger than that. Go round there, Billy. Johnny, go with him. Just round the corner. Okay, is that budging? No. There's a longer one. Getting organised. Right, give him a drink of water.